Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Cabinet approves 104 offshore installations located along the northeast and west coast of the island. Constitutional reform public consultations come to a close in San Fernando. And the TTPS mounted branch unit undergoes the annual carnival simulation. Thank you for joining us. Policy on the establishment of safety security zones along offshore installations situated in the marine areas of Trinidad and Tobago has been approved by Cabinet. The announcement was made during the post-Cabinet media briefing by National Security Minister, the Honourable Gary Griffith.
That there are currently 104 offshore installations located along the northeast and west coasts of Trinidad and Tobago. These installations, he adds, are located within Trinidad and Tobago's maritime jurisdiction that spans the territorial sea and underlined seabed. Within our own jurisdiction, there have been numerous calls from oil and gas industry for government intervention in assisting the industry in protecting and securing these installations. This protection is not only needed from the hands of terrorists or saboteurs, but for other maritime users such as fishermen and other local boating community, who may for one reason or the other cause harm to these installations.
So the oil and gas companies with these offshore operations, they experience these problems with vessels that come within 500 meters of their installations on a weekly basis. Some of the major oil and gas companies have expressed concerns that the local boating and fishing communities continue to conduct such activities, and this involves fishing. So the establishment of this, it will ensure that the assistance in the protection of personnel on or in the immediate vicinity of the offshore installations from damage. It will also assist in the protection of the installation from damage, reduce the possible risk of maritime disasters, for example, oil and gas spills that could lead to injury to persons, property, and the environment, and also limit the vulnerability of offshore installations to disruptions.
Another policy that was approved by Cabinet involves the formal establishment of the Energy Sector Security Initiative, known as the ESSI.
This has been designed to provide a forum for policymakers, national security practitioners, and owners-operators of energy assets. The ESSI will be carried out in two levels, the policy level and the operational level. The ESSI, this has been formed as a partnership between the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and public and private sector owners and operators within the energy sector.
Some of the objectives that would come about through this ESSI would be the establishment of partnership among the government, energy companies, and international companies. It would also create a network arrangement for information sharing and mutual assistance between government and energy sectors.
It will also develop a policy for the establishment of safety and security zones around offshore installations and develop capabilities among law enforcement and security agencies to detect, prevent, mitigate, respond to, and recover all possible threats and hazards against our nation's energy resources.
The Minister of National Security, Gary Griffith, notes that this will bring together the different arms in the energy sector and will involve an alert state. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
2014, just over 1 week away, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Mounted Branch Unit, is doing final checks to ensure all is in place for the greatest show on earth. This according to Police Public Information Officer Inspector Wayne Meister. All cities and boroughs will be highly manned via air, sea and land.
It certainly looks like Carnival Tuesday in Port of Spain, but that's not the case. These are actually police recruits and it's actually a police exercise.
This particular police exercise is to ensure the TTPS mounted branch is ready for patrol duties on Carnival Monday and Tuesday. Acting Sergeant Sean Clark, who's also the coordinator of the simulation exercise, explains that this training takes place yearly for several weeks to ensure the police horses are prepared to deal with the expected carnival revelry. And aiding the mountain branch in this exercise are recruits from the TTPS Training Academy.
What takes place at the training academy is that we seek to have the horses, which form a critical tool in public order for Carnival Monday and Tuesday, seek to have the horses prepared in a manner that they're not overly alarmed by the revelry of the citizens. Another dynamic to it is that the participants in the bands from time to time may go close to spectators. Some spectators accept it, others don't take kindly to it. So the police horses, in conjunction with other officers, are used as that barricade to ensure that peace and harmony reigns.
Assistant Superintendent George Alsop of the Police Mounted Branch explained that the recruits were told to be aggressive and not to hold back, thus ensuring the horses are fully prepared.
The trainees put on a very, very spirited performance, exactly simulating what Carnival is all about. And it's exactly that we are looking for with the horses, to get them acclimatized to what they are expected on Monday and Tuesday. So they have been working well over the last 4 to 6 weeks.
Meantime, on the service's security blanket for the entire country, Inspector Wayne Meister assures no area will be left out.
Well, you know that Carnival is one of the major, biggest single events that have in Trinidad and Tobago. And the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, our mandate is to provide security and safety for our citizens. And that is what we are going to do. Based on our years of experience, we have what you call a security blanket that will cover all the major areas. We have the city of Port of Spain being covered, the city of San Fernando, the boroughs of Chaguanas, Ariman, or as a matter of fact, the entire Trinidad and Tobago. But of course, we'll be paying special attention to the major areas as Port of Spain and San Fernando.
Patrol frequent, of course.
Yes, we have all the ports, all the entries and exits covered. Persons who will be coming into Port of Spain, we ask that persons come in there. You know you're coming to have a good time, and we ask persons to comply with all the laws and the rules. In addition to that too, that's notwithstanding we have that heavy presence in Port of Spain and San Fernando. The entire Trinidad and Tobago will be covered with our routine patrols. And in addition to that, persons who may be camping, we will be paying special attention to that. We want to ask persons to get to the stations to fill out the campers registration so that we will be aware that they are in the district.
The recruits who took part in the exercise certainly had a good time, as agreed by trainee Wesley Henderson.
For the past 6 weeks, we've been preparing the horses for coming Carnival Monday and Tuesday to deal with the public, for the public to be safe. So it's been a great experience here. All the trainees here at the Police Academy, it's been great.
All right. Knowing that you wouldn't necessarily get to play mass, how has this exercise been for you personally?
For me personally, it's been great. It's been exciting, but at the same time, I'm here for a purpose, to be for an officer to serve the public with pride.
Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The next step in the reform of Trinidad and Tobago's constitution can now begin with the public consultations now completed. The contributions of hundreds of citizens have been recorded and would go down in history as helping to shape the way in which the country will be governed.
The Trinidad and Tobago Constitutional Reform Commission has completed 17 public consultations in its first round and 4 public consultations in its second round. On Wednesday, the consultations came to an end at Paria Suites and Conference Center, Laramine, giving citizens a final opportunity to raise their concerns before the Commission.
After the first 17 public consultations, this report was created. It was distributed through the newspapers, and of course some of you may have gotten yourself a copy of this report here today at your registration. And today, in this round 2, we are here to comment on this document. The suggestions and so that were taken in during the first 17 consultations have been, as best as the commissioners and this legal team could have, condensed or included into this report. So we are at the stage where we are looking at this report, which is going to form the foundation of what the new constitution, should there be a new constitution, would be. So that's why we are here today to comment on this document.
The Honourable Minister of Legal Affairs, Prakash Ramada, addressed those gathered, saying that constitution reform was something his government was aggressively pursuing and with a commitment given to the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
This is a promise that we had made in People's Partnership Manifesto, and it's a promise that we are fulfilling, but we will only do so out of the voices of the people. This is how we anticipated a reform constitution should be developed. Having gone through the first round, we have created a report, as Errol has told you, and many of you have in your hands, many of you have studied it. I hope all of you would have. And it is to that end, for the first time in the nation, we have a second round where we report to the people as to the outcome of the first set of consultations. This is really the final lap, and this evening is the final consultation on these matters. So that as we proceed after today, it would be to the cabinet and then to legislative preparation to be taken to Parliament. We hope to have that done certainly within this year and hopefully by the middle of this year.
Following the consultations, the Honourable Minister thanked all who participated in the consultations from the onset and spoke of some of the main issues that were raised.
There are many issues over the 17 consultations in the first round and in this second round that have not been controverted. Issues of fixed date for elections, there was some difficulty, some expressed with that. Fixed terms for Prime Minister, no more than 2 consecutive terms for Prime Minister, fixed election dates, as we said, and other issues like that. So immediately we will begin to work on the wider report, but certainly prepare ourselves as quickly as we can to fulfill the promise that we made in 2010. Many did not expect us to have arrived at this position where we are on the brink of fundamental change. But here we are.
Citizens can look forward to future developments on constitutional reform as the Commission will finalize a report on the contributions of the national population, and then the government will begin drafting legislation to be presented in the Parliament. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
In other news, Minister in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Stacey Rupnarine, toured several areas of Plock Road, San Francisco on Tuesday. Addressing media, the minister says there is a lot of land slippage in the area, but assured that the Ministry of Works is working assiduously to resolve the problem.
Residents of Plock Road, San Francisco have been plagued with a number of land slippage. For years, their roads have been eroding due to the weakening of the soil. During a tour of the area, Minister Stacey Rupnarine noted a litany of woes and told the media that her ministry has undertaken to repair the land slippage.
The work started over the weekend and we are looking at a 2-week completion time. The cost of this project is approximately $900,000 and it involves a 20-foot wall, retaining wall, which would prevent further slippage of this area. One of the challenges we have along this Plock Road is that the soil type is very poor, and so we have a number of landslips.
She says the cost of the repair works will amount to some $900,000. In addition, it will require a 20-foot retaining wall to prevent further slippage.
Just a little way from here, in the vicinity of the Presbyterian School, another landslip has developed, and so we've awarded another contract in the amount of $500,000 to repair that landslip. In addition to which, there's also a landslip just a little lower down from here. That landslip has been there for decades. And so the ministry has now sought to undertake that project through the National Infrastructure Development Company Limited. And that is indeed a huge project. So NIDCO is currently evaluating tenders for that in the amount of approximately $18 million.
Among the road repair, temporary self-help food cans were distributed to residents. This will help to bring relief to many of the families who are unable to buy the basic food supplies.
This is really an emergency one-off grant that we are able to access through the Ministry of the People and Social Development. And Every 2 to 3 weeks or so, we often give these cards to families in the hope that it will help them through whatever difficulty they may be experiencing.
Self-help grants, she says, were also distributed, amounting to the tune of $70,000 for persons in need of funds to repair their homes. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Thank you, Joseph. News 4 continues right after the break. The Trinidad and Tobago Target Archery Federation hosted its 2014 Indoor Championship earlier this week. News 4 Sports was at the Chaguanas Indoor Arena for the highly competitive event, and we have more in this Wayne Cunningham report.
The top shooters converge on the Chaguanas Indoor Arena with bows and arrows for the National Indoor Archery Championship on Sunday. Clubs from throughout Trinidad contested the championship in various divisions with recurved and compound bows. The men's compound masters was one of the most highly contested events. Selwyn Jagasa and Dexter Lalai reached the final of this division, which was eventually won by Lalai. Howard Rooks took third place. In the recurve men's masters, Colvin Chin edged out Richard Dick for the top prize. On the women's side of the draw, it was also close between Patricia Price and Eunice Dick. Dick eventually took that contest. The women's open compound divisional finals started off neck and neck with Nayla Cesare and Samantha Jagasa matching shots. But Cesare began to pull away as the contest progressed. The Points Archery Club athlete eventually prevailed to take the gold, with Jagasa in second and Kyla Mohammed in third. Hazmat Ali was the winner of the men's compound, while in the recurve, Mahindra Lalu took on Dean Wilkins for the gold. After some tight measurements, it was Wilkins coming out on top. The tournament champions in each division mirrored the medal round, with Nazmeen Rupnarayan cupping the women's recurve. Dean Wilkins won amongst the men. In the women's compound, Nayla Cesare was the tournament champ. Hazmat Ali took the male compound division. While Colvin Chin was the master of the masters, male recurve. Dexter Lalai was the compound champion. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
The Central Bank All-Inclusive Carnival event has over the years become a staple on the all-inclusive events list. Patrons got the ultimate experience as the new and improved layout now spans the plaza and spills on to St. Vincent Street. The event was amped up to create the ultimate ambience.
This year, the ultimate performers Viking and Queen Bunji Garlin, Ian Alvarez and Fair Lyons and the Asylum Vikings took on the big stage on St. Vincent Street. They ensured a truly euphoric musical experience with their 2014 hits. This is not the first time this dynamic duo have graced the stage of Central Bank All-Inclusive, and this time around their performances is sure to cement the Fete as the ultimate all-inclusive event for 2014.
What's interesting to note about Central Bank All-Inclusive Fete is that the artists gracing the stage have pulled from their musical repertoire, engaging the patrons in their performances, creating the perfect atmosphere for Carnival 2014.
It's Carnival 2014, and I'm sure you're spending a lot of money on all-inclusive events, premium fetes, whether it be cooler fetes or etc. But what is the ideal all-inclusive event? Well, I'm sure it's one there's lots of food to eat. And of course, Central Bank's all-inclusive has proven to be just that. The culinary offerings enticed with the choice of dishes even more exotic. The ultimate experience included a mouth-watering selection of main course meals, finger foods and desserts that simply say, yum, ultimate food. We caught up with some friends of News 4 who shared with us their experience.
Hi, Joseph.
What are you doing at Central Bank?
Well, I'm enjoying the ambience, the food, and the good fete as they always do have every year.
So wait, you're not working tonight?
I am, technically, but I'm finished.
Okay, in comparison, I know we in the media have been to a lot of events because we cover these things. Could you compare this all-inclusive with any other event that you've been to? How is it?
I find this good. It's not as hype as it was last year. I don't know what is missing, but the food is still good, the drinks is still good, but like the lines are very long to get to stuff. So I think they need to look at that and revamp that for next year. But it still can't compare to Bishop Anstey High School.
Of course you're a Bishop girl, that's why you're saying that.
Of course. But it's good otherwise.
How are you enjoying this all-inclusive by Central Bank?
Well, it's great. I think the ambience is nice. The food is great. I came in here, I didn't expect to eat. Like I didn't want to eat because I ate when I was at home. So I was like, I'll just have a few drinks. And then when I came in here and I saw the food, I was like, nah, I need to eat something. It looks good.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me something. How are you enjoying this all-inclusive?
This is my first all-inclusive for the year, for the carnival season. So I am enjoying it. I'm having fun.
What have you been doing all season?
I have been in cooler fetes.
I thought you would have said you were studying your schoolwork for your master's.
Yeah, well that too. But you have to, balance it off.
Are you having a good time?
I am.
Good so far. Have a little buzz going on, so it's going good, yeah.
Tell me, what have you liked about this event so far?
Everything basically, the variety of food, the variety of drinks. I love the cocktail bars. That's the thing. So I definitely come for the cocktail bars to see like what they're offering and stuff like that.
The premium bar was divided into selected ultimate bars, including a main bar, cocktail bar, shot bar, and the wine bar, which was strategically positioned throughout the fete. So whether you chose to stand close to the stage, stay in the dining area, or lounge under the plaza, you were not left thirsty. For the masses, the ultimate experience was like no other, with luxurious decor and electrifying special effects to mark the occasion. The Central Bank Sports and Cultural Club has pulled out all the stops to make this the ultimate all-inclusive event of the season. Indeed, one of a kind. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.